Hello traders, Greg here. So we're looking at wide range bars and range expansion bars. Do they both mean the same thing? Well, yes, but we use range expansions with wide range bars, but they also refer to bottoming tails and topping tail bars. So you can have a large bottoming or topping tail bar, and you can have small ones. So just pointing out right over here, you've got some small bottoming tail bars, but you got a whole bunch of them, which indicates that people are showing up and buying the dips. I've marked off some of these wide range bars on Wells Fargo. It's in the scan. What we're looking at is a layout that has many scans in here, bullish and bearish wide range bars, 1, 2, 3 patterns, 180s, range expansion 180s. You can see bottoming tail bars. They on the 20 MA, the 50 MA, breakouts and trends. So, with these scans, they put us in the ballpark of where we want to look. So with Wells Fargo, I marked off here with a red arrow this wide range bar because it was going up for a while. And wide range bars display emotion, fear, greed. And as prices were moving up and the range begins to expand in a very large way, it suggests the end of a move, not necessarily the end of the trend. But prices have gotten ahead of themselves, and now institutions and traders are jumping all over themselves to get on board something that they could have gotten in earlier. So prices pull back, and now another wide range bar off of the rising 50 MA, the green line, that igniting a move. The next step is, well, where's it going to move to? Not every trade or every setup is going to move as this one did, where it was able to push through this resistance area. Now, as it moved up into that, we would assume that it's going to, at some point, retrace. Now, it didn't. But look at that topping tail bar. It's not what we would call a range expansion bar because it's about equal in range to the other bars. So it wasn't a powerful topping tail bar, range expansion topping tail bar. Nonetheless, it displays that sellers came in that resistance area, yet it couldn't violate the prior bar's low. And it kept grinding higher until you got that reversal and then the pullback. Now here you got a monstrous wide range bar and it cleared all of the resistance. At that point we'd be thinking, well, there's a powerful bar. Prices should continue to go higher. How am I going to get on board? Meaning, where am I going to put my stop loss? This big bar doesn't give us any place to get on board other than to just say, hey, I'm willing to risk a certain dollar amount, which could result in a quick loss on a wiggle. So the best thing to do is to wait for some kind of confirming pattern. And here we got another reversal after a small retracement. At that point, with a relatively large wide range bar compared to the most recent two, maybe not so compared to that one, but it broke the lows. It's a continuation pattern suggesting it's going to go higher. So if we buy above that high with a stop slightly below this low, it should work out. And that's what most trades are, if not all, is an assessment of what should happen and then placing a trade with a calculated stop as to where it should go and how we're going to manage it. Here's another wide range bar, and that clears all of this resistance, igniting a move higher. Now, at that point, you say, well, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get on board with a 1, 2, 3 or some kind of continuation pattern. At those times, you have the option of putting on partial positions. So if you put on a third position, a half-size position with a stop down here, that should be enough to get on board and then look to add. Sometimes you get a 1, 2, 3 to add or a 1, 2, 3, 4, and sometimes you don't. It just takes off. At that point, you have to manage. There's a range expansion bottoming tail bar that broke the low. That's a continuation pattern. And today, here's a wide range bar that was up. It came up on the scan here, and it's up against this pivot. So while we could enter above the high of that bar, it is going to deal with some overhead resistance. So it's not the ideal type of pattern like we have over here. Right? It's going to deal with that, but if we share size it initially down here and get on board and then look to add with the appropriate pattern, it gives us an ability to get on board intelligently, and this looks like it should be able to go back up to the high or higher. Now, looking at a few others, another one here that's in there is a financial, another wide range bar, and that's so close to resistance. So while it's likely to go up, being so close to resistance doesn't give us the ideal scenario. This one is a bottoming one that's taking a longer period of time because it's been in a downtrend for a long time. But look at that wide range bar and notice the volume. And notice the volume it gapped down on, and then that reversal. So being in a downtrend, our expectations would not be that this is going to advance significantly from there, but starting a bottoming process. And here you got another wide range bar retesting that. Up wide range bar on Friday on volume. It's still in development mode. What this is good for, if it had premium, would be put spreads, because we have a clear indication that buyers are stepping up, and it's unlikely to come back down here in the short term. So the processes would be to then go and look at your option table and see if there's premium there, to do a credit spread, 5 days, and then, of course, you go out further out to find increased premium, and then you make a decision as to whether it makes sense or not to do it based on that premium and the time to expiration. Uber, another one in the wide range bar scan. And so while this is retesting this high area here, ideally this would give us a 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4 to move a little further away from this congestion. Nonetheless, this is suggesting it should be able to go up. Notice the gap up here. Notice the range expansion bottoming tail bar, the continuation higher into this pivot. As we always say, look to the left. And now it has formed this bottoming process here and this wide range bar on Friday. So that is on our list as well. KRE, regional banks, have just been a big technical word mess of flip-flopping back and forth. Yet on Friday, we got a wide range bar out of this consolidation, and it held this resistance. So this is the beginnings of a move, and this should be able to move higher. Now, we could look at stocks within this sector. That would be another step in looking for those stocks within the sector. Here's a regional bank. Now, this is weekly wide range bars. If we put this on a weekly chart and compress this, you'll see one monstrous wide range weekly bar, which is based on this move up, which say prices got a little ahead of themselves, but that's a power bar suggesting it should be able to go higher after some consolidation. That's a biotech, but wide range bar. Another regional bank. That's the one we look at. Keys. That's a topping tail bar. But we could go to, let me show you what we could do here. And we could go here and open up this list. And by the way, these are scans that we share with all letter subscribers and students. And now start flipping through these. And look, we could even sort this by wide range bar, put this in here, and look for our wide range bars and cherry pick the ones, if we could find, would have a lack of resistance to the left. Most of these are going to, because you saw the sector has been beaten down. But these are starting to make a turn. Some stocks that we have in the letter this weekend, let's take a look, because we're always looking for wide range bars and they come in different variations. MBLY. And so here's a bottoming pattern. There was an explosive move off of a low. Here's a retest, a wide range bar. On a short-term basis, this looks like it should be able to move up into this area here. It's a bottoming process. It also would be good if there was premium for a credit spread. Probably there isn't because of the price of the stock. Most of the time, lower price stocks don't. Looking for another one here. LITE. Wide range bar. Look at the volume. It already tested this resistance. That looks like it should be able to go higher. ADSK. Another wide range bar, range expansion, and this one has a greater void area up above where it can move up. Should be able to move up 10 points or so. It gives us a clear line in the sand that it should not be violated. And look at how it moved up here. And if we look at that on a weekly time frame, look at wide range bar starting to move down after a breakdown, which failed and reversed. So that bullish price action suggesting that this should continue to go higher and it should not violate these lows. Now, not every wide range bar is going to follow through. And I'm showing you this one here because it's on the bearish wide range bar scan, and the prior day it was on the bullish wide range bar scan. So we have to take these patterns and put them in the context of the prevailing trend and support and resistance. And this stock has been erratic and whippy all over the place. But you can see it's attempting to form a bottom here. These pivots creating support. It's holding this area. So will it come down here and break lower? We don't know. We have yet to wait to see. Or will this flip back up and negate that bar? And if it did that, this is what we would call a bear sandwich if we had a big green bar over here. And at that point, we would definitely be looking for put spreads as well as starting bullish trade, looking for this to move up. Just looking at the broader markets, we saw a range expansion, topping tail bars on retests of a prior swing high there. Now this is in an uptrend, but the size of that bar is suggesting a move lower. And this week we'll see if this actually breaks below the low. NASDAQ also, wide range expansion, topping tail bar in an uptrend, suggesting it'll move lower. We'll see if that actually follows through. Other markets, this is just whatever you want to call it, it's ugly. Top tail, bottom tail, in the middle of the range, overlapping bars, IWM, an erratic pattern, SMH, which has been leading, range expansion, topping tail bar with an obvious place where prices should not be violated. So we'll see if this follows through. If you have any questions, email me, greg@mastertrader.com. And of course, if you have questions on options, it's best to email Dan@mastertrader.com. And we'll be talking later in the week.